All right, ladies. So let's talk about the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? I perfectly had a good explanation the other day. I was looking at my dog, right? I was playing with my dog, and I was like, you know what? If I see my dog getting eaten by another animal, I'll be very, very heartbroken, extremely heartbroken. But I don't mind watching other animals get killed in National Geographics. You know, heck, I root sometimes, right? When we watch other animals get killed, we see them suffer. We just don't care. Suddenly we own that animal. We give the animal a name. We give them a nice little collar, you know. Suddenly it's not just an animal. It's more than just an animal. It's your friend, right? But if you would have not owned it, if you would have not gotten close to it, you would have never had a connection with it. So what am I coming across with this? Is that suddenly that animal had an identity. Now he's just more than a dog. Now he's someone. You see, when he dies, you're gonna miss him. You're gonna miss the identity of the dog. See what I'm saying? And you love that dog, and it could have been any other dog, and you would have loved it as well. Just like you could have been any other owner, he would have loved you. So what am I getting to this? Is that things inherently don't have any meaning. See, I'm meaningless. It's true. I'm meaningless. I'm a meaningless person. I'm not worth anything. You see, things are not worth anything. Things are only worth based on what others agree is worth. You see? Like you can't give me water if I don't need water. You see? But if I need the water, suddenly that'll be worth it. If I'm unhappy and you make me happy, you're worth something in my life. So essentially, there's no such thing as any meaning to life. So sometimes we feel depressed because we don't know what the meaning of life is. But at the end of the day, what is the meaning of life? In reality, it's not that you're looking for the meaning of life. It's that you're looking to be happy. You're looking to have purpose. But mind you, this is the part that's crazy. Your mind is the part of you that gives it meaning, right? Your mind is what gives meaning to life. See? And your mind is what causes you to feel unhappy because you don't feel like you have meaning. You're not meaning. There is a certain disconnect between what you want and what you have, and that's created by your mind, right? But then there's a point in your life where you don't care what the meaning of life, where you are okay with not having a meaning in life. You want to know what that is? The middle gaps between going to sleep, between going to sleep and dreaming. Like when you awake from a deep sleep where you're not dreaming, you say to yourself, that was a very good night's sleep, right? Like sleep, you don't notice sleep, but you feel it, right? It's peaceful. There's a peace to it. Now I'm not talking about dreaming. I'm talking about the deep sleep where you're not conscious, where your brain is in, I think it's delta, right? When it's delta, some shit like that, right? And so in that state, there's nothing there, right? There's no object. You could die at that moment, and guess what? There wouldn't be a difference because you're fucking dead, right? Like there's nothing, right? And so if you would die, there's nothing there. Like you literally, it's just like you just die. That's it, right? You just die. Like you don't feel nothing. There's no transition. That's what I think. I assume. So what's the difference? Is that when you're in that deep sleep, there's no pain. There's no sadness. There's no happiness, right? Okay, I'm getting to something here. But as soon as you start dreaming, and let's say you start seeing content, right? Suddenly when you're in a dream, you have senses. You know you have senses, right? Like even though you're in a dream, like even though there's nothing really going on, right? You have senses. You could hear, you could taste, you could eat, you know, you have sex. Yeah, you can have sex, right? And it feels real, right? But then it's during those moments that bad things happen. It's during those moments when your emotions come alive. It's during those moments when things could perturb you, right? So what's the difference? There's deep sleep, nothing, and then there's consciousness, being conscious, but having a mind, seeing content, saying this is good, this is bad, right? So in reality, what's really going on is that what's really causing you the unhappiness is the overactive mind. Oh, we're getting something here, right? When you're in a deep sleep and you're not awake, you notice that everything's perfect. You have no cravings, you have no desires, you have no anger, no happiness, no sadness, but somehow, some way, that is extremely peaceful. Somehow, some way, we love to sleep. When you have a bad night's sleep, what do you wake up and say? I had a bad night's sleep. But why was it bad? It was because you maybe woke up once in a while, you were interrupted, right? Which is the equivalent of having content in your mind. You see, the nothingness, the essence of being in a deep sleep is equivalent to the consciousness. In that deep sleep, anything can arise and you will notice it. Like you're gonna notice things arise. Suddenly you go from deep sleep to REM sleep, and then you start seeing materials come up, right? So what is that thing? What is that thing, that screen that's allowing those things to arise? I did not expect to go this deep. Holy shit, fuck. I should repay for this, but whatever. What is that thing that's allowing those things to arise? It's your consciousness, the essence of yourself. But what is that thing that's arising? It's the objects, the mind, right? The form of things. So it's the nothingness. It's the attachment. It's the nothingness where peace lies. It's the nothingness where nothing lies, but at the same time where everything lies. For example, it's kind of like a computer screen, right? A computer screen. Where's my phone? Okay, whatever. I don't have my phone on me. But a computer screen. A computer screen has a screen that's blank, right? Which is equivalent to the consciousness. But anything in that screen that arises, like my face, like you see my face in that screen, right? You see my face, right? But is that really me? No. What's my face made out of in the screen? It's not made out of me, right? It's not made out of me. It's made out of the screen. Now to the computer, the screen might be, the computer might see the screen as another object. The objects in the screen, the pixels, appear as though they're different entities. But in reality, the things that you observe in the screen is the same thing that's made out of the computer. So in other words, what you perceive in life, right? That the things that you perceive only exist because you're perceiving them. Think about it. Everything you experience, everything that exists, where does it exist? It exists inside yourself. Inside yourself. When you die, you stop existing. And also, paradoxically, things stop existing for yourself. Even though you're dead, things stop existing for you because you're never going to experience the world. So things stop existing for you. Truth is relative. Remember that. Truth is relative. So the same thing with meaning is that it's the mind that's trying to find meaning. You see, it's trying to find meaning in this meaningless world. So how do you accept that? You have to first become more conscious. Notice yourself wanting to find meaning. Notice yourself needing meaning. You see, and you got to realize that in your life, your meaning in life is going to change throughout your life. And so your happiness is going to fluctuate if you depend on that to find happiness. So what am I getting at with this? Is that in order to have, how can I say this? In order to have meaning in life, right? You have to accept the fact that there is no meaning. There's no meaning to life. Absolutely no meaning to life. The only meaning that arises from the mind. What really matters is the essence of things. It's the consciousness that makes things up. That allows you to experience life. For me, the meaning in life is being here right now. Everything else is mind-made. So rather than focusing on the mind, meaning, focus on the now, right? Bring your attention to the now. Do not be the objects of your dreams. Become the observer that allows the objects to be like the screen. You're not the things in the screen, what you see that looks real. You are the background that allows all of those things to arise. And what I want you to do is not go into it and become those objects, but realize that what you're seeing is part of yourself. Realize that everything that you're seeing is not really there. It's just your reality. Like you're seeing things, but you may be seeing a TV, but in reality, you're seeing your consciousness because it's made out of your consciousness. Just like a computer, the pixels, what you see, they're not really things. The pixels, they are the same thing that makes up the computer. You see what I'm saying? Like I see a person walking by. That's me there. Because everything that's created is created by my own consciousness. Without consciousness, he wouldn't be there. You see? So what am I saying? Is that when you begin to realize that everything is equal, that everything is unified because everything is you. You're perceiving the world and it only exists to you because you are aware of it. So you're not really seeing a separate entity. You're seeing yourself everywhere. So now suddenly when you see a TV, when you see a microphone, You don't just see a microphone. You observe it and you fucking appreciate that. When you're observing your anger, your depression, you don't get angry at it. You observe it. You don't become the depression. You become the observer. It's like when you're watching somebody get angry, you don't just see them as someone who's angry. You see them with compassion and you see yourself in them. Suddenly you're not gonna need any meaning to life because you see yourself everywhere. This is something I did not expect to go that deep, but you know, this is not a serious video, okay? So this is not like one of those videos where I like, you know, where I have to like, you know, put a lot of posts, put a lot of what do you call it, like make sure everyone sees it. It's just something that came out of my mind. I wanted to put out there, right? Anyway, just added to my for attraction. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye bye.